Welcome to episode number 27 of the Keep Up Podcast. Me and Tim are...
It's 25.
Yeah, what do you...
No, 7.
Finish the sentence.
27.
Me and Tim are... Wait, sorry. Tim and I are...
Praying that one of us does not have deathly illnesses.
I mean, that's... I can get behind that.
So what are we on, 27?
This is 27, yeah.
How many months is that?
27.
That would be lame to have a monthly podcast.
No, that's... what is that for? It's about 8,
8 months.
right?
Bro, we could have had a baby at this point.
I think it's about 8.
I think. Maybe 9.
Close, yeah. It'd be a little premature, but...
That's all right. You see these pinkies? Not that I was premature, but...
I know, what are you talking about?
I don't know.
I see your pinkies.
Yeah.
People watching do.
I hope so.
Do you forget that this is a mostly audio format?
No. I don't forget. I just tried to seduce all the people to my side.
Ah, that's actually pretty clever.
Man, Brett, that pimple on your head is huge.
I don't have one.
Come to the video to see it now.
Yeah, that's what I'll do it. So what's up, Tim?
Dude, I have had just the weekend.
Why?
The weekend of life and death.
Oh, wow. Tell me about it.
Well, in the last podcast, I said I would be going to Six Flags.
You did say that.
To see the virtual reality Superman ride.
You did say that.
And, you know, I got to say, Six Flags is not a good place to go.
What? I mean, I haven't been in a long time. Where is it?
I went to Springfield, Mass. Is where it is.
Okay, cool.
And so I went on a Saturday during the summer.
Yeah.
It was the worst thing ever.
Why?
The worst thing ever.
Why?
Because why?
Why?
Well, the wait for Superman was 3 hours.
Why?
From when you get it. Why? He asks. Because the VR Superman stuff. Your face is just frozen.
Why?
Why?
All right, 3 hours is ridiculous.
It's you never ever need to wait 3 hours for anything.
What would you wait 3 hours for happily?
An Avengers movie.
Yeah.
I would sit in line and just wait.
I could get behind that. Sometimes the waits at movies... Rachel and I, when we went to see X-Men, we were in the theater, like 10 minutes before it was supposed to start. It's supposed to be like what was it, like an 8:30 showing maybe? Could be making that up. It was something 30. And the movie didn't start until... Like if it was like an 8:30 showing, the movie didn't start till like 9:20. So like you're almost at an hour there.
Why? Why did it? I've noticed movies have been starting later, at least for me. But
now that means like that's when previews were over. That's like when the movie started. So I mean, I know you got to factor out. Anyways, 3 hours for Superman.
Ridiculous.
Was it hot and sweaty?
Yes, it was very hot and sweaty. Sweaty. I can't say it.
Is it hot and truffles?
Hot and truffles. What?
I don't know.
So yeah, the thing with it is they just introduced the VR, so everyone's there to do the VR.
Finishing up my drink.
Yep. Rockstar. Spitting all over.
This is a noisy podcast.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Sorry, carry on.
So yeah, everyone's there for VR, so it takes an extra 5 minutes to get people set up with VR. So it's like in total about 10 minutes to set up for someone to go for a ride.
And what is the setup? So you sit in it, it's a roller coaster.
Yes, yeah. So it's
is it a hangy dangly?
Nope, it's just a normal roller coaster, just 2 seats per car, or 4, I guess. But anyways, so yeah, they had to separate the line into VR and into normal people.
Some aren't VR?
Yeah, you don't have to. You have the choice.
Oh.
So
why would you not?
Exactly. That was my logic, but everybody I was with, they didn't want to do it. So
really?
They
What?
Well, I mean, some were adults, older people, and they just don't have interest. And the other one, the other one was my friend Nick, and he was like, meh.
Yeah.
He just, I don't know, didn't see it. So I waited 3 hours, and I was like, oh boy, I'm so excited to do this. So you go in and they set up the line, VR. And then everybody else. I was the only one doing VR.
No.
Yeah, I was by myself. The rest of the people didn't want to do it. So I was like...
And I mean, we're talking full line because you waited 3 hours.
Yep.
Why were you the only one?
No one wanted it. I don't know.
Dude, I don't understand this.
To me, it's so amazing.
Yeah,
VR.
why would you not?
So you sit in that line, and then they clean off the headset that whoever used it last, and then give it to you. So then you can put it on, test it out for a second, but they don't let you wear it very long, and it's just a black screen that says calibrating.
Okay.
So then you go.
So RoboCop.
I know. I felt very futuristic.
That's awesome.
So then you go and sit down. They sit you down. They're like, all right, put on your headset. And I was like, all right. So I put it on, and in the seat in front of you there is a like a sticker, and you look at that, and it calibrates the helmet for you.
Oh, cool.
So it's cool. It is like a helmet, I guess. Like you put it and it like takes off the top part of your head, from like your nose up. So you put it on, it calibrates, and then there you are. You're in Metropolis. You are in a floating, like, how they have the floating, I think monorails is what they're called. It's like trains, but in the air. There's air rails. So you're in one of those. So you're like just floating. So you look down and you see your legs. You're just some person, You see like digital legs, and you can look left and right, and you see the city and building and everything.
Crazy.
It's really cool. And I was like, I'm so excited to do this.
Yeah.
And so I got the headset, got the big bar over, and then I hear, don't forget to put on your seatbelt. I'm like, what do you mean seatbelt? Mm-hmm. And so I reach around, and there's the seatbelt here, and I'm like, okay. So I reach, doesn't fit around me. It's really, really close, but it just won't close. And my heart like sank. I was like, there's just no way. And it turns out that I just was too big for the ride. I couldn't do it. Yeah. Your face.
Dude. What?
Yeah, and I would understand if it was my fat, because I'm a big guy, and that's fine. I accept that, but it wasn't. It was my legs were too like wide. I just have too thick legs, and the seatbelt couldn't wrap around it fully.
Do they not have like extensions?
They had.
Or
I've heard there were seatbelt extenders, but they just didn't have them, or nobody knew where they were at the time. So I was like, I just waited 3 hours to get a 5-second VR trip and not to go on the Superman ride.
What did they say to you?
Nothing. It was like a teenage girl who just was there and didn't know anything, and she was just like, if you can't fit, you can't go on the ride if you can't put the seatbelt on. So I was like, okay. So I tried a little bit more, and I just couldn't do it. So I had to do the walk of shame, get up and walk off, and I was like, oh, my heart,
dude, that's
awful. I know.
That's injustice.
Where's Superman? He should just fly me.
What I don't understand is like, you're not that big of a guy. Like, you're a big guy, you're tall, right? And you have some weight on you. I weigh more than you though. Like, I don't understand. Like, to me, like, can't fit on the ride big.
And there were bigger people like before and after me for sure, but it's just they must know a secret that I don't. Maybe I just slide too far forward. Maybe I need to slide back a little. I don't hang off the seat.
I assume you tried.
Yeah, I mean, I did everything I could. I sucked in, I pulled back, I did like as much as I could do, but it just wasn't enough.
Dude.
But it's fine. It's kind of good in a sense because then even if it wasn't fat, it inspired me. Like I love roller coasters; they're my favorite things. And Superman was the best roller coaster I've ever been on because I've been on it before. So now that I can't go on it, I'm like, oh god, I need to seriously dedicate myself. But I also like convinced myself that it is my legs; they're just thick. I'm just a big boned person, which I never thought was a real thing, but it seems logical. Like I just have a big frame. You know?
I mean, I have I have that too. Where like I know even if I lose a ton of weight, like I'm still broad and like and I have like my thighs are huge. It's just a thing. Like I remember playing football in high school, and there was this particular guy who was like taping our pads like on our pants, and so he was like putting tape around our thighs, and he was like, "Whoa, son, I'm gonna be out of tape." I was like,
that's awful.
Yeah, you made some comment about like
I'm gonna be out of tape.
I think he was trying to like those were weird times because I experienced growing up like always like being really self-conscious about my weight because I was like relatively bullied for being like the fat kid, and then. Relatively is a weird word to use in that sentence. I was
bullied.
Like
bullied from a distance.
I wasn't. Depending on who you were in the situation, it was relative. I don't know. No, but I definitely, I was bullied for being the fat kid and a lot of grades when I was younger, and then but during football, when I played football, it was like it turned into a compliment because I was a lineman.
Right. And it's perfect.
So everyone would be like, but I didn't like it. Like when the coach would be like, "Oh, Ennis can handle him. This kid's huge." Like I'd be like, "Thanks, coach." Like I don't know how to take it. Thanks, I guess.
Yeah, I get it is
You know what I
like,
mean?
yeah.
All of a sudden it's a good thing, but all of my like school career, I was like the big kid.
Yep.
Now it's like, hey Ennis, yeah, don't lose any weight. Keep packing them on, kid. And I'm like, what do you mean keep packing them on?
I'm not trying.
I'm not trying. Exactly. It's just what I look like.
Oh.
So I mean, that is a tragedy to me. I can't believe that because I feel like obviously, I mean, not to dwell on it, but that must have felt awful.
It was, I think I'm just more accepting of it because I know I'm a big guy. I've never had that situation where I'm so big where I can't do something. You know how they have like a weight limit
that's why I don't understand,
on
like
elevators or whatever, I've never had that situation come up. So it's a weird thing,
It's super weird. And I'm not even like, it's funny because like obviously you're my brother and like I'm not just trying to be like, dude, you're not that big, but really like it's not uncommon for like a big dude to go on a roller coaster or something like that, or be at a theme park. And like, I don't know, man, that's just like, that's strange. And I feel like I'm sure I know the type of kids that are running those rides probably have no idea what's going on. So they're just like doing their job or whatever. But there should have been some kind of like
anything really.
I don't know. Here's a gift card to the gift shop or like, get to the front of the line pass or something.
Yeah,
like,
they have those flash passes and that lets you get to the front of the line and stuff.
Because, dude, 3 hours just to be and that's bogus, especially if they have extenders, but they just didn't know where they were.
Yeah, last I heard, it was my friend's mom I was with. She was, oh my God, it was scary after. She had like a huge uproar and was yelling at everyone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm like, all right, can't fit. What am I going to do?
So wait, she talked to the people from the park and they didn't do anything?
Yeah, she was just like, you guys should have done something or, you should, give him something for wasting his time. But they were like, we can't do any of that because, they're the teens who just don't know anything. They're not the higher ups.
Oh, man. That's bogus. He probably could have taken it higher, but I know that becomes a pain.
Yeah, at that point, I was just like, whatever.
That's how I would have been, too. Like, you and I are the same in that. I would have just been like, like...
Yep, what can you do? If I don't fit, I don't fit. But it was certainly upsetting not being able to... Because that was the ride,
right,
man.
That was the one. I mean, you talked about it on the podcast.
Yep, that's when it's big. But then it turns out I fit on every other ride the rest of the day. I went on five other rides.
That's what I'm saying. Roller coasters included.
Yep, it was.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yep.
That like, that's messed up, dude.
It is. I think it was just a mixture of the seat and the seat belt was like other rides had much longer, better seat belts, and they just went right over and then you can tighten it. These just weren't long enough. They just weren't made for bigger people, I guess.
Dude, that's just so bogus.
Yeah.
I'm not happy about that.
But, the silver lining is I did get to see VR just a little bit, and it was really cool. Like, you go right into the world. Completely covers your face. I couldn't tell I was in VR.
There.
Yeah, and it was the one, I don't know if you've seen it, it's Gear VR, which has the cell phone in it. You put in the... Just like a really big cell phone. It's like an Android cell phone.
Okay.
So they have that cell phone, and that's what covers the screen. It's just like two little fish lens,
Oh yeah.
But they're like goggles, and so you put them over your face like this, like
crazy.
So it was cool just to see it for the 5 seconds to look around and. But yeah, I heard the ride's cool. Like you're going, and then all of a sudden, like while you're going down in real life, the train like explodes and you fall like.
That's crazy.
It's supposed to be horrifying.
So you've done it before, but the VR is a new addition to it?
Yes, the VR, I think this is the first year for it. Which everyone hates it too because it makes originally the wait's an hour and a half, but now it's up to 3 hours because
they have to set everything up.
Yep.
Rough. Dude, well, kudos to you for finding the silver lining because that would just piss me off so much.
Mm-hmm. But the rest of the rides were fun. There's this big one called the Fire Wheel, and it's probably the scariest one I've ever been on, other than Star Blaster. Is that the one that shoots you straight up?
Yep, straight up, and then
drops you.
I'm all set.
No,
every time I go to any theme park and they have one of those, I'm like, I can handle it. And then I go out and I'm like, oh, God, no! I don't know. It's this weird thing in me that's like, you're here. Just do it.
Just do it.
It's terrible.
I initially had a goal to go to every roller coaster in Canopy Lake, which, is the one close to us. And I did it. I did do everything. Star Blaster was the last one. And I was like, I'm good.
It's awful. I can't. It's the falling, man.
It's the falling. And, I like that feeling. And a lot of other roller coasters have that feeling.
I like it in a roller coaster when you're falling at an angle.
Yes.
When you're dropping straight down, I just want to die.
It's horrifying.
I can't. I'm thinking about it. And it's freaking me out. But so you want to, what's this fireball situation?
So imagine just a big ring.
Wait. Okay, got it.
Got it? Yep. Okay. And so it's just think a normal roller coaster.
Whoa.
Train. Okay. So it has that pirate ship effect.
Pirate ship. Hang on.
I'm so upset.
Okay.
So it sways left, right.
Wait.
Left. I'm so mad.
I'm sorry. Okay.
So it's left, right, left, and you hang upside down for 4 seconds and then spin around, and it does a full 360 circle.
Shut up. It's a roller coaster, like sit down cart?
Yeah, that's what it is. You just sit in it and it spins and spins. It's horrifying.
So you go forward and backwards then?
Yes. So it's forward,
that's
back,
crazy.
forward, back. So I was in a cart facing. So when you went forward, it went backwards to
and
me.
It just picks up momentum as you go?
So it's like left, right. And then the worst is when it's right to the point where it should be doing the full flip, but it stops and then goes back and, does it the other direction. But you are upside down, it hundreds of feet in the air, and you're just sitting there for 4 seconds does it stop? Are we dead? And then you go flying, and then it spins you around three times, and I'm like, ah!
And then do you go backwards 3 times too?
Yes, yeah. So it's one way and then flips. It feels really long.
That's horrifying.
It's so cool, but my friend Nick got super sick. I was like, let's do it again.
Did he? Dude. Oh,
he didn't throw up, but he was just green. You could just tell.
See, there was only one time I ever threw up at a theme park.
Oh, what was it on?
It was a roller coaster similar to that actually, which was it was amazing. I feel like I may have talked about this roller coaster before. Have we talked roller coasters on the podcast before?
I don't think so.
I don't know. Well, I ate 2 theme park hot dogs.
Well, there we go.
So I don't know why it happened. But then I got on this roller coaster, and what it does is instead of typically you climb a hill and then you go over the hill and that's what starts it. Instead of that, the track pulls you backwards. So you sit on it and then the track pulls you backwards until you're at a 90-degree angle, vertical. So, but you're facing down. And then instead of you going over a hill, the track just releases and just drops you.
Oh, stop.
So then, and there's there's a full loop at some point. And then when you get to the end of it, the track grabs you and does the same thing, but from the front and pulls you up again and then releases. So you go through the whole thing backwards.
No.
It's amazing.
Oh my
God. It's wicked good. Yeah. So the whole thing was dope. It was because it's you go, and then your whole way backwards, obviously you can't see anything.
Yeah.
So you don't know when certain stuff is coming.
That's horrifying.
You don't know when you're going up a hill, you're going down one, you're going over the loop. And so you're just waiting for the loop, and all of a sudden, you're going backwards, and all of a sudden you're looking at the ground because you're going. And so it's nuts, and it was so much fun. But then we got off it, and I was like, oh no.
So you threw up after?
After.
Okay.
It wasn't on it.
That would be the worst.
But I felt like such a cliche. I got some hot dogs. I was with my girlfriend at the time, and I'm like, hey babe, let's do this crazy roller coaster. And then afterwards, I'm hugging a barrel with one of those black trash bags hanging out, whoa! It's so gross.
That's perfect. You got to experience such a cliche thing. It's awesome.
It was scripted.
Oh man.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it wasn't scripted. It was
it was like
it was like it was scripted. I don't know what I was trying to say there.
I've never been sick on a ride. The faster you go,
on
the
a
better.
ride, yeah. I've never been sick on one. Even that one, I didn't feel it until after.
Where you just got to land, I guess.
Yeah. We stopped, and I think whatever concoction was rolling around in my stomach, which was a mixture of hot dogs, whatever I got on it, and soda. Dude, it was like someone just shook me up.
You were like a big bottle of soda.
Yeah. And it was gross. Anywho.
Anywho.
So overall, it was a good experience.
It was all right. it was all right.
When in your day did you do the Superman thing?
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. So we showed up. The park opens at 10:30.
Okay.
We got there at 11, like 30ish, and
Okay.
got to Superman by 12. Like it was like 11:50.
All right.
So that was 12 to 3. It was 3:30 by the time it was over. So
That is crazy.
That
When you
was-
say the times, it like makes it set in even more.
yeah, it
like
it sucks because I felt like we were not going to be able to get on any rides the rest of the day. We stayed until 11 at night.
okay.
But
So you got to do.
it was just like, yeah, it was almost a quarter of the day, more than a quarter
That's
of the day.
insanity.
Craziness.
And it was early on in your day, so you felt like it was going to ruin the day.
Yes, because I was like, okay, if this is what Superman's like, can I fit on any other ride, or do I have big thighs? Thunder thighs.
Thunder thighs.
So
Tim.
the fear was the seatbelts. I fit everything else. You could do the big, like, bars. that
That's
you put over
surprising too
yourself.
that they do the bars and the seatbelt.
And
Is
the
that
seatbelt.
normal?
Superman's fast, and
Yeah.
I think it has some like floaty moments, I guess,
Yeah.
where you're like going so fast that you lift up. But maybe it's just a fail safe. Well, because if the top part comes off, the seatbelt's not going to save your life. You're going to go flying.
I guess it could hold you in.
I don't. Yeah, I
The
don't know.
top part, I feel like, is the most important.
It
though.
is. Yeah, that's huge.
Dude, that freaks me out thinking of one of those like malfunctioning and you getting tossed off.
Yeah, it
Crazy.
crossed my mind a few times because they had some crazy rides that they have this giant swing, like
Yeah.
spinning.
Oh yeah,
swing
yeah.
one.
And you think of one of those just snapping?
Yeah, just somebody going fly like yahoo, but then they're gone.
terrible.
Yep. Anyways, enough about fears. It's also Justice League themed, the whole park. So they have this huge Hall of Justice.
What?
It's like just a replica of it. It's
That's amazing.
so cool.
Since when?
Since, I don't know. I mean, Warner Brothers has always been a big part of Six Flags.
That's true. Okay.
But just recently, they have like a Catwoman ride. They have a Batman ride. They have, all
That's
these
super
themed-
cool.
Yeah.
Why did I never think? Yeah, Warner Brothers owns Six Flags.
Yeah.
So I don't know why I never thought.
Well,
of that.
because I think it's more of a recent thing. Like Superman's always been there, and I think there's always
Right.
been a Batman ride. But
Yeah. Is that the hangly dangly?
the Batman one,
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah,
Okay.
we
I know-
didn't go on that one.
I know
but,
there's a hangly dangly. Why didn't you do Batman?
we just didn't know how much time we had because each line took about an hour to get through because it was so packed.
Ugh.
But
How much are the flash passes?
The Flash passes, it's $60, and you can only do it on one ride.
What?
Yeah, you had to pick whichever ride and whatever time you want to do it at.
And you can only do it once?
I think you can pick up to 3 or do one ride 3 times.
Dude,
like it's
60 bones for one ride?
yeah, it's just this little like Tamagotchi looking thing that they scan
Bro.
it. Yeah, it's
That's-
worth it for Superman because that line was super short. Like they probably only waited like 15 minutes to get on Superman as opposed to the 3 hours.
If you can do it multiple times, I guess that's
Yeah.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
Because I would go through that one regular and then with VR.
Yeah, just to do it twice.
But
and
that's
see
a
what it's
lot
like.
of money, man. Rough.
Yeah, I mean the ticket was $31 just to go for the day.
Yeah, that's not bad. But anyways.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry to hear about that.
That's okay. It was just I got a taste of VR and it got me even more excited for it. That was the big thing. It was
That's
cool
good.
to go to a theme park, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Ah.
The Hall of Justice sounds sweet.
Yeah, it was cool. It was just like the big Hall of Justice, and there are buttons and switches everywhere that you can go and flip, and they didn't do anything, but they were all over the place. They had like a big table, and they had cool like replicas of things. Like they had Green Lantern's lantern,
Oh,
they had some
cool.
batarangs, they had just stuff all around, and Batman was in there.
What?
He was just some dude hanging out in there.
How
but,
does Suit look like?
pretty good. It was like
Wait a second. How does Suit look?
How it looked like Nolan's Batman suit,
Okay.
but not like as many. I don't
But
know.
was it good?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Was it Christian Bale?
No. It
Six
was
Flags is
Bale,
the worst.
Bale Christian.
Bale Christian.
His weird stepbrother.
That is who happens to have a reciprocal name.
Oh.
Well, let's since we're in the past anyways, let's go into some reflections for a minute.
Okay.
Okay. So one thing I noticed, and we do this sometimes, is in our last episode. Okay, this is a multi-layered reflection. Number one, we started talking about sandwiches and like different kinds of bread on sandwiches.
never got to
Never went back.
I heard it too.
And I feel like we've done this before where I was like, what's your favorite sandwich? And then you were quiet for a minute, and I was like, all right, we'll go back to this later. We never went back. That's layer one. Layer number two is I guarantee we've already had that conversation. You specifically came to a podcast one time. It was like, what's your favorite sandwich? And we had this whole conversation. Wait, Was it favorite sandwich or craziest sandwich?
Craziest sandwich. Because
So
I
we
had
never did favorite.
my proteininator.
Right. And you said, what's the craziest sandwich you've ever made?
Yes.
Oh, so we didn't do favorite sandwich before.
No. I thought about it, though, after listening to it.
Do you have an answer?
I think the perfect sandwich is a grilled cheese. I think that is...
Ooh.
I love, chicken sandwiches are awesome.
Wait, should we do a real food section this time?
We could and just talk about it. We'll do
All
it first.
No, we can't.
Why? We're in the conversation.
No. I want to make everyone wait until we get to
then
food.
I'll forget all my good points.
We kind of do the categories in order.
I noticed we do, but we don't have to, Brett. We're
Can't
free.
break it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know we're free. I'm
Free
free to
birds.
continue doing what I want to do. Keep things the same. Because I haven't thought about it yet.
Well, think about it. We'll get to it later, I guess.
We need to really get to it. Don't forget. Don't let me forget.
What?
That we have to do food later.
Huh?
Before the end of the podcast.
Forget what?
I had other reflections.
I remember.
Let me consult my phone.
His big book of destiny. Dick.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
I'll wait till movies for that. That's my only
Best reflection ever.
My brain's all over the place right now. What do you got any TV today?
TV?
I got a little bit of TV.
Okay.
All right.
Wow, that's loud.
All right, so television. I have a thing. Do you also have things?
I have a thing.
Do you want me to go first?
You go first. Mine might be a little long.
Oh, great.
Oh, great.
Real quick.
Mm-hmm. Yes, phone, you have something to say?
I have an email. I started watching Legends of Tomorrow.
Yep.
And it's awful.
It's so good.
It's terrible.
It's not bad.
I can't do it. I
Are you going to watch it all? Or try
No.
You're not after that first episode?
I'm done.
There's so many good things that happen.
It sucks.
It's so good.
I couldn't make it through the first episode.
Why? Please.
Okay. First of all,
Uh-huh.
it sucks.
It doesn't suck.
Second of all, it's really bad.
It's not bad.
Third of all,
Did we just say all this?
it's not good.
It's
All right, here's what happened. We were hanging out the other night. Rach was like, "You feel like watching something
what
tonight?"
time at night?
I mean, not super late.
What time?
Between 9:30 and 10:30.
That's bedtime for you,
It's
Brett.
not bedtime. I stay awake. The other night, I was up till 2:30 in the morning playing a video game.
Yeah, video games are easy to stay up with.
Yeah, well, shows I can sometimes.
Dude, you fall asleep at
Not all the
everything.
time.
Okay.
So we start. I'm like, "You want to try Legends tomorrow?" She's like, "Yeah, sure." So we put it on.
Mm-hmm.
Probably 20 to 30 minutes in, right? It's 45-minute episodes, probably 42-ish. Neither of us has said anything the whole time. And Rachel's like, "I just don't really care about this. Are you? And I was like, "This is really bad." And she's like, I wasn't going to say anything because I didn't know if you wanted to keep watching it. I was like, "No, please turn this off." Dude, the acting is atrocious.
No.
It's embarrassing to
It's
watch.
not.
It is.
No way.
I can't handle it.
It's on the same level as Flash and Arrow.
No,
for
it's
sure.
not.
For sure.
Not even close. No, it's not. Not even the people who are in this show are as good as they are on their other shows.
They
that they're
totally
in.
are fine.
No,
Rip
they're
Hunter
not.
is amazing.
He's awful.
He's perfect.
The worst moment in that episode is when he goes, I forget what he says. He's like, he says where he's from. Where's he from? London?
I mean, you learn later on.
I'm just being racist now. But he's
yeah.
like, he says, like, people are like, well, who are you? Like, where are you from? Or whatever. I don't even remember because it was so terrible. My mind was immediately deleting images and sounds. But he's like, from England. And then he stops for a minute and he's like, also the future. And I was like, ugh. It's so bad.
That's
it's so awkward.
totally a fine line.
It's not. Maybe if delivered with feeling this time.
The whole thing was feeling.
It's so bad. So that was awful. The acting was awful. It was super cheesy in the bar when Sarah is like, some guy like taps her on the shoulder and he's like, "Hey, baby," and
Why? That is so. This show is all about time travel, like cliches and tropes and everything that happens in a time travel thing.
So bad. I could not. I was so bored. Every character, like, I don't know how you could think the acting. Now, I will say there's some cheeseball acting in Arrow, and especially, in the last season. We talked about the last episode. I don't want to talk about that. But the Flash, for the most part, like, I love pretty much everyone in that. Like, I don't know how you could even compare the acting in Flash to the acting in Legends of Tomorrow. Maybe it gets better, like typically acting, but all these people have already been in other stuff. So I could not figure out the magnitude of suck in this one episode was like so bad, and I was so bored. I was like, oh my, like I just was, I didn't care about anybody. And I know, first episode, whatever. But I did, a couple people, one friend was like, oh, I did an episode and a half. I couldn't do it. One person said they got 3 episodes in. I want to watch it. No, I don't. I can't even get it out. I don't want to see it.
The thing with this show is you need to watch it because there are things that happen to characters that are pretty big that I feel like it's going to affect Arrow and Flash.
I think I can get along without it.
There's some big things.
And you don't think that the acting in the first episode is bad?
I mean, to me, it's CW acting. CW acting is cheesy.
But the Flash, we've talked about Grant Gustin.
Yeah,
kills it.
He's great. But I think just because I've seen other CW shows, Supernatural, and Smallville. I watch very little, not much. But
I've wanted to watch that, but there's so much.
It's hard to find it. I haven't been able to find it in a long time. I bet it's like on Netflix, and I just haven't looked in a while. But anyways, to me, it's like CW acting, which is like teenager type acting, I guess. They're not teens, but it feels like
it totally drama. Does. It feels like, and this one was like just cringy to me. And like I couldn't even. I was like, oof, this is so goofy.
And maybe that's why I like it so much because it is. It has like 2 of my favorite things: team up, movie like type things,
and time travel. And I get that, and that's why I want to watch it. I love team ups, and apparently there's something about the what's it called? The Justice
Society of Justice America. Justice League of Society America.
Something America. American Justice Society. The major league.
That might be it.
Baseball.
American Justice Society?
I forget. That's not it. I freaking know. Whatever. So I know that there's some stuff that happens, and I really like Ray Palmer. And see, here's the thing. I never really cared for Sarah's character. I liked some of the stuff that they did with her. I liked all the stuff with the League of Assassins and Arrow and all that stuff. I didn't really care too much for her. Firestorm's a cool concept. I've always liked Hawkman and Hawkgirl just because they look sweet.
That's funny. I didn't like them. They were probably my least favorite part of the show.
Well, yeah, I mean, as characters. And then when they showed up in Arrow and Flash.
Yeah, that was the crossover episode.
Yeah, like, I was like, okay, cool. I liked the costumes. We talked about, like, some people criticized the costumes. I thought they looked cool. But I just did not care about anyone in this show, and I couldn't get through it. And I was like, I don't think I'm going to watch this.
It's worth going through. I mean, I would say at least...
I don't know if I trust you, Tim.
Well,
it's only 10 episodes.
No.
13?
No. 16.
Is it?
I think so.
I'm not watching it.
It's so
What's 10 episodes? Agent Carter's 10 episodes.
Agent Carter, yep.
I'm not watching it.
It's like episode... Geez, I think it's like 4
I'm never going to get that far.
Dude, there's just big things that happen.
Dude, so 4 or 5 is when it starts getting good?
No, that's just where a big thing happens where I think it might be worth watching to see what happens from that point.
I don't know if it's worth it. I don't know if I can justify it. If they were 30 minutes, maybe.
It's just really good. I like I do agree with you. It is the first episode, so of course it's going to be cheesy. And
but it's not any of their first episode.
Like, I know, but you got to think it's a new director. I assume it's a new set. Like none of these characters have really interacted with each other before, so they have to get comfortable with everybody.
Right.
I think it's a totally different atmosphere where they almost had to relearn their characters and stuff.
No, that's true. It is a different atmosphere, but
there was never a point where I was like, man, that's cheesy. And maybe because I feel like they're trying really hard to make it like a funny, very serious, but also very funny time-traveling show.
But they didn't, none of that is evident. Like there were moments where I felt like they were trying to be funny and it wasn't. And then there were moments where I felt like they were trying to be serious and it was almost funny because it was like so cheeseball.
It was so cheeseball. I don't know. I enjoyed it all the way through.
How good are cheese balls though?
I love cheese balls.
So good. I haven't had them forever. The blue can or like the big bag?
Oh, I like the purple Utz one. The really big container.
Oh, that one.
Those are good.
Yeah.
How many cheese balls have you ever stuffed in your mouth at once? Have you tried?
Legends of Tomorrow sucks.
I like it. I say it's worth watching, but if you don't want to, I could always tell you all the big things that
See,
happen.
that's the other thing. I have this strong aversion towards spoilers. So I'm like, do I suffer through some... I mean, maybe it gets better. I don't know. I was like,
I mean, because... like even what's his face? Freeze guy and Fire guy.
There's Snart
and Rory.
That name's so hard to say.
I know. Which is funny because that was the Rip Hunter's name in Doctor Who. That guy who plays Rip Hunter was in Doctor Who, and his name is Rory. And he was also a time traveling guy in that. So it's cool to see him in that. Anyways,
was he good in Doctor Who?
He was like a goofball, like idiot type guy.
See, I can see him kind of playing that in Doctor Who, but he feels like a ripoff of Doctor Who, no pun intended.
Yeah.
And not good.
But I love him. He's probably my favorite character in the show because his story is so like emotional, you know, with his family and he's dealing.
And I
with
didn't
all
even
this
get
stuff.
to anything with Vandal Savage, really.
Yeah, I don't remember him showing up. I really like him as a villain. People said he was weak, but
I liked him in Arrow. That whole crossover thing was cool.
I mean, I guess it gets kind of annoying because it's like, okay, you have this super team. Why can't they just go and beat him? And, you know, the whole season is based on them trying to find him and beat him. But every time they do, it's not as they planned, I should say. But I don't know. Like I said, I think it's worth a watch, especially because you're in this universe right now. Flash, Arrow, Supergirl, everything, all that stuff. This is another one that, you know, is part of that. And I feel like they are going to have a huge crossover at some point. But you could totally just look up the big things. I think there's like 3 big events that happen.
We'll see. Right now, not impressed. But I also have a bad taste in my mouth from the end of Arrow. So I'm kind of like schmeh about all of it. Did you hear about what they're doing with Flash?
Flashpoint?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm interested in that.
I mean, that's what we assumed would happen because that's what happened in Flashpoint Paradox. He went back in time, saved his mom, and then the whole thing.
Is that what happened? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know.
But, you know, that completely made everything different.
I didn't really think about it.
Yeah.
But that's exciting.
That is really exciting. I feel like I wonder if it's going to be like 1 episode or 1 or 2 episodes, and then they're going to go right back to reality.
I hope it's the whole season, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, because I want to see like, you know, alternate universe Batman where it's Bruce's dad. I want to see.
Well, I doubt we'll see Batman.
But you can see alternate universe Batman.
But so you're saying it could be someone else?
Well, yeah, that's what happens in Flashpoint Paradox.
Yeah, but isn't there like issues with that? Like, don't they not have the rights to Batman?
Well, if it's not really like Bruce Wayne Batman, I don't know.
So it could be like his dad, like you were saying. I totally agree. I think, you know.
They could imply that. I mean, it is DC. I'm sure they can.
Yeah, but.
Like Superman's going to be in Supergirl. They just casted him.
Well, I think Fox owns Batman because they're doing Gotham. So I don't know.
That's true.
I don't know how any of it works, but I remember reading long ago, like, you can't get Superman, like, the big ones, which is funny because now we have Flash and Green Arrow, so something must be going, but they couldn't show up in the show or be mentioned because of different deals.
Yeah, you might be right, but I'm curious. That's the first thing I thought of is, like, okay, so does that give them a way to, like, maybe you don't see a guy in a bat suit, but maybe he's got, like, a ski mask and guns and he has, like, a bat symbol or something.
That'd be cool.
And there's also who's the Joker in Flashpoint? I don't want to give anything away other than what I just said about Batman, but in Flashpoint, there's alternate characters like the Joker and different stuff like that. So I wonder if there's a way that they can get away with those people showing up.
They might.
But that piqued my interest because I was really curious. I mean, we talked about how Flash ended, and we were like, "What? Come on!" So that'll be interesting.
Yep.
So what do you have to talk about? We can get into your long-winded rant.
It shouldn't be that long-winded, but
you said it was going to be long.
I know.
What time is it, dude? Come on.
I know.
I'm just kidding. We're
I
fine.
finished Death Note.
You finished it?
Finished it.
Season 1.
So here's the thing with Death Note.
Okay.
Is what I've heard initially was there 2 seasons. Season 1, Season 2, split in half.
Sure.
And then after looking it up, I saw that it was Season 1 and then a movie that was an hour and a half, which is Season 2. And then after watching the whole series, I realized none of that's real. It's just one series. And then they did have 2 movies, but those were the series just redone in movie form. So it's like they skipped scenes and just told like almost an abridged version.
Is it like it's like Dragon Ball Z Kai?
Yeah,
where they
much.
Like shorten everything.
Yeah, Kai was a little different because they did new animation. They like added new Hamikaze and stuff. But yeah, they skipped out on scenes.
They like cut out all the filler.
Yeah, filler and blood and guts. They made it kind of more kid friendly.
Oh, interesting.
So like Piccolo loses his arm and it's all purple and bloody, but they change it. It's all like black and charred and it's different.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, what I always assume is there's just this mystery second season out there that no one likes, but it's all part of one series. It's one long season, I would say.
So say again, the movies
are like abridged versions
of the series.
So it's an hour and a half. And it shows key points, and it's basically a way if you want to rewatch the series but not watch every episode.
Yeah.
And they do that with a lot of animes. It's just kind of like a recap, or I know your freaking phone.
Sorry, I thought I muted it. I didn't. Here we go, muting.
Yep, muting.
And we're muted. All right.
Muted. So
you finished the series.
Finished the series, crushed through it. 37 episodes.
Woof.
There were 22 minutes each, so
that's still a lot.
That's still a lot. So what I do understand, though, is there is a halfway point in the series where it would be season 2 because they have a new intro and a new outro and totally like, story takes a completely different direction.
All right.
But it's not. It's part of the whole series. I know he's looking at the camera seductively.
It's just been a while since I've looked at the camera.
It's been a while.
So if you're watching, thanks for sticking with us.
Thank you for sticking with him.
Well, you too.
Yeah, I guess me too.
So there's a half point.
Yes, halfway point where things happen and it goes a completely different direction.
Is the second half of that the season 2 that
That's
people
what
don't
I
like?
would say.
Okay.
But it seems so important to the story that I wouldn't split it up. Like it feels like just natural progression through the story, you know?
Yeah. So what's your take on the whole thing?
The whole series, it was good.
Yeah.
It was not as amazing as I thought it was going to be, but it was really good. Like I binge watch it and, you know,
you're happy with it?
I am happy with it.
Happy with the way you spent your time?
The hard thing with that show is the person you follow, the protagonist, is not a good guy at all.
Interesting.
He's like the villain of the story. And then the antagonist is the good guy, is the hero that you want to win.
Weird.
So it's a really cool aspect to follow this villain and follow like all of his plans and all this stuff.
Right.
And then, you know, you just see on the sidelines this hero, this other character, L being the hero. He is the one that you want to win, that you want to catch the guy you're following. So it's a cool example of protagonist
really
versus antagonist.
Yeah.
You know, people think antagonist is bad, but in this case, it's not. So it's
wow.
So that was really neat.
Yeah.
And just the whole story itself is there are high points and low points. I'll say there's like, you know, wicked intense, like on the edge of your seat scenes where you're like, oh my God, what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
And then there are these kind of like low points where you're just like, all right, I know what's gonna happen here. I know what's gonna happen here. But just overall, it was really good.
Were there more low points in the second half?
No, the second half I thought was good. It was just a lot of waiting for that final episode.
Okay.
It was a lot of setup. You know, they introduced a lot more characters, a lot more things for your villain, hero, whoever, the guy you're following. A lot more things for him to face. So it got kind of complicated because he started adding so many people to his legion, I guess. Legion! So he started adding all these people, and it got, I don't know, cluttered near the end, but then that final episode, the final 2, I should say, it had a nice payoff. Worth it. Yeah, it was cool. And I wish they did more things with the world they set up, because there's the human world and then this Shinigami world, which Shinigamis are death angel demons.
Shinigami.
I know, they're crazy.
You're a Shinigami.
Thanks. So they show off that world like very little, but I wish we got to see more of it, you know, throughout the whole series. But they didn't show it very much, and what can I say?
What can you say?
That's it. But they also they have 2 live action movies. They're Japanese.
Oh yeah. Okay, I knew about those.
And those take a different turn for story wise, so I might watch those.
Yeah.
The first movie said it sticks pretty much to the main story, and then how it ends leads to the second movie, which I guess is completely different from the story. So,
is it horror to any degree?
It like the Shinigamis are creepy, but other than that, no. It's a lot more like a thriller mystery.
Oh, okay.
I
was always curious about that
because they're hunting your guy down. Your guy being Light, the main character. They're hunting him down the whole time, and he's working with L, but L suspects he is the killer. And so he's working with him. He's on the inside trying to figure out all this stuff. It's cool just watching them go back and forth.
It sounds really unique and interesting character-wise, like
Yes.
how they did certain points of view and stuff.
Yeah.
That's cool. I'm intrigued.
It's I say it's totally worth a watch. And yeah, I don't know. That's about it.
Cool. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
So next is Game of Thrones. I don't know when I'm going to tackle that. That's going to be nuts.
You got to feel good though, having Death Note under your belt.
Yeah,
though. Something of a classic at
as
this
a
point.
big anime fan. I got to say the ending was a little different than I expected.
Yeah.
I won't spoil it, but
Was it good? Is that good?
it wasn't. It was, I guess, almost. There was one way or the other it could have gone, and it went the other way. I was thinking it would go one way, but it went the other, and I was like, I guess that's fine. I accepted it.
That can be hard when like there have been. There's one movie in particular, I can't think of it, but where in my mind I was like, I think it's going to go this way. But if it goes that way, does that mean it was predictable?
Right.
But
That's
then
the thing.
like
if I don't know. It depends on the show, but like sometimes I'm satisfied if I could predict the ending.
Right.
Because then I'm like, all right, that's what I wanted to happen. That's what I expected. But other times you're like, oh, I didn't want that to happen, but it was predictable. So
Yeah.
I don't know. And it's tough because this main character, at least for me, I didn't like him at all.
Really?
He's, they made him like cool and smart, and he's very like overconfident. But he's also the villain. He's killing everyone. He's doing like these evil, crazy things, using people, manipulating.
That's so
it's like,
interesting.
yeah, you're watching and you're like, I hope they get you in the end, or by the end you're like, I hope.
And it's focused on him, like you're following him.
Yep, you follow him throughout the whole.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, you'll have to keep us posted on Game of Thrones, what your situation is with that. I don't know if I'll ever jump into that.
I
mean,
want
maybe at some
to,
point.
and obviously I said I will, but that first season, man,
Yeah.
it's just slow. It's just really, really slow. Like I said, I'm excited. I want to be on the train with everybody, the hype train. But
Hey, if you could get through Legends of Tomorrow, I'm sure you can handle Game of Thrones.
you mean Legends of Greatness?
So I have a burning question. Can we move into movies?
Yes.
That's not the question I have. Just, okay, let's go
Okay.
movies. This is my question. I had a friend present something to me.
Iron Man.
No.
Okay.
That was particularly disturbing.
Okay.
X-Men Apocalypse. When we first see Nightcrawler. Do you remember when we first see Nightcrawler?
That's right before he fights Angel, right?
Yes.
He's like,
How do they bring him in?
don't they have him like chained and?
They have him in a box. They like roll him in a box, right?
Like an animal?
Yeah.
Okay.
How do they keep him in that box?
He has to see where he has to teleport to.
Or have been there before, right? I don't think there's any reasonable explanation as to why Nightcrawler is rolled in a box.
What if there is like a time thing? Like he has to. I know I'm just stretching here, but he can only do it within like 10 minutes of the last time he saw that place or whatever. But I can't remember.
I don't think there is.
When do they say he can teleport to a place he's last seen?
When they ask him if he can go to a certain place, and he's like, I can only go to places I've seen or places I've been before. It's when he's with Storm. Storm? Not Storm.
Mystique.
Yes. Yeah, it's when he's with Mystique. I want to see it again because they do say, and it, So this came from, I was having a conversation with a friend. Most people I've talked to were not nearly as impressed with the movie as you and I were. And, obviously that's the consensus with reviews and stuff like that. I still think people are crazy. That movie's boss.
Yep.
But one problem that a friend had with me with the movie that he was telling me was how they keep Nightcrawler in the cage and he can't teleport out of the cage because it's like electric. I didn't have a problem with that because I think it was illustrated pretty perfectly that like when he tried to, he got zapped. And then later they explain the electric field like messes with his abilities. Like that's why he couldn't bamf into the cell that they had Jean and Peter and all those people in later, right? So he explains that. But then he brought up the box. He's like, how did they roll him in that box? And they just keep Nightcrawler in there. And I was like...
I'd have to see it again because it's...
I have a feeling there's not going to be a good explanation.
Why would they do that, though? It would be smarter.
It seems like a severe overlooking, right? Like, how do you put Nightcrawler... Like,
I guess, how do they transport Nightcrawler? How would you do it?
Ever?
Yeah, just like... Yeah.
I don't know.
Because I guess the best solution to that would be the box, even though it's not a good answer. It's better than... Because if they had him, chained up or had guns to him, just teleport out of there. It's not like they could stop him.
Right?
So, to me, it seems like a logical solution, but they need to explain it. Maybe inside the box, there's electricity.
I thought about that. Like, what if they open it up and it's like electric? Or if the only thing that would really make any sense is if he had like a collar on or something.
That's what I was thinking too. Like, it crossed my mind, but I don't remember him.
Because otherwise, is there like any point that they could keep him... Like, really, Nightcrawler being captured doesn't really make any sense.
Right, because no matter where or what he's in, unless, it's the...
If that electric field thing works.
But other than that, there's no situation. As long as he can remember or think of a spot or look anywhere,
Yeah,
really.
and I think there is a distance thing. And there are some limitations, like him teleporting like a ton of people at once, like they show later in the movie. But... That was just a conundrum that's sitting in my brain, and I want to go see X-Men again. But anyways, we'll revisit that because I want to see it again.
Yep.
Anyways, did I just say that? I feel like I'm in a time loop right now.
Time ripple.
Moving on. I watched Iron Man 3 the other day. The movie feels weird to me.
It's weird.
I don't like it.
I don't like what they did with the Mandarin.
I don't think I like it.
You don't think you like it at all?
I was looking at my list. I think I'm about 98% sure. Okay, I haven't gone through phase 2 yet, right? But I've been comprising this list of Marvel movies. And finally ranking them, because I haven't done it, in the MCU specifically. Right now, my last two are Iron Man 2 and The Incredible Hulk. I'm not sure. It's definitely under Iron Man 2.
But is it under Hulk?
It might be. I just don't... Okay, I think all the stuff with the kid is really weird. It's kind of funny at moments, but I don't understand why... Like, I think they do it for comedy... But Tony's like such a jerk to the kid.
That poor kid. I think that's more of his character, He is kind of that like that smart butt. He's that type
Tim, we're all adults here.
That's great. That's just his character, he's just kind of mean.
Yeah, I guess it just felt like it didn't really land because he was... If this was like Iron Man 1, and I mean, to clarify, there's like a moment where the kid is like, oh, my dad left me when I was a kid. And Tony's like, oh, no need to whine about it. Like stuff happens. And he says it crueler than that. But
maybe he sees himself in the kid.
And it's like kind of funny, but did his dad leave him?
Well, I mean, death. That's one way to leave your son.
I suppose that's true. But I don't know. It just didn't really land for me, and it was kind of like a joke. It was played for comedy. The Mandarin thing. Spoilers for Iron Man 3. I've never seen it, but like the whole thing with the Mandarin is he's this terrifying villain, and then they meet him and he's an actor, which is like, from what I understand, like a major spit in the face of the books because the Mandarin's like one of the worst villains that Iron Man faces.
Oh, I thought that was going to go a different way. One of the worst villains, like in the sense of a bad villain.
No, like one of the most like
yeah, like one of his worst villains. I get what you mean.
He's like the Daredevil's kingpin,
right?
basically. I think if I might be wrong. Someone correct me, please. But I think
to my knowledge,
I think that was the big deal with the Mandarin being the villain. And when I first saw it, I was like, okay, well, like that's kind of funny, I guess. But then watching it again this time, like after they reveal that he's an actor, like you don't see him again until he gets arrested at the end.
Yep.
And it's kind of, I mean, I guess they handle everything, but it's just weird. I don't know. The whole thing is weird. And the thing with the suits, like I know that he's a mess and like he's having panic attacks and all this stuff. And Rachel had a good point that like the events of this kind of lead up to Ultron. Like he's super unstable and shaken after New York. And so he ends up, doing what he does with Ultron that ultimately creates this like supervillain computer. But I don't know, the movie itself just feels like a mess to me. And I don't enjoy it nearly as much as like some of the other movies. Where are we going now?
Let's go to food.
Okay. All right, so you think the perfect sandwich is the grilled cheese?
I think so, mostly because it's so simple and like that just seems to be the sandwich of life.
It's true. It is the sandwich of life. Now, does that include grilled cheese with various accoutrements?
Yes, various.
Say bacon grilled cheese.
Bacon grilled cheese. Yeah, like I think
I wasn't just asking you to say it.
I don't know. I feel like it just needs to be the base sandwich. And the base sandwich is a grilled cheese. Buttered bread, cheese.
Butter sandwich.
Butter sandwich. That might be the epitome of sandwiches.
No, it's not.
But there are other sandwiches that I like a lot. Not a lot more.
Oh. Don't disrespect the grilled cheese,
No,
homie.
that's what I'm saying. I think the grilled cheese is the perfect sandwich, but there are other
the pinnacle of sandwich.
Yeah, like I think that's the top tier, and then every other sandwich from that point is just a variation of grilled cheese.
Is a burger a sandwich?
Yeah, but that's like a grilled cheese.
No, it's not.
Totally is.
It's a burger.
It's buttered buns.
So you're
with
saying
cheese and then meat.
Are you telling me that any hot sandwich with cheese in it is just a variation of a grilled cheese?
That's what I think. Any sandwich, it's like grilled cheese is on top, and then every sandwich ever is under it.
You might be on to something.
That's what I think.
So a burger, a cheeseburger, is just a grilled cheese with burger in it.
Yes, with like meat inside it.
But in your mind, does the grilled cheese have a particular cheese? Like, are you like you have to use Kraft Singles?
You have to use American cheese.
So what if you have a cheddar burger?
Is
that not a grilled cheese?
It's just another grilled cheese with a different cheese. Because then you have the grilled cheese and then the variations of the cheese.
What about like a ham and cheese sandwich? Is that a cold grilled cheese?
Yes.
Or a cold cheese?
Yes.
A not grilled cheese with ham?
It's funny. I think I talked about it before, but the idea of a grilled cheese where it's just cheese being grilled like that.
Just a piece of cheese.
Yeah, just like a big chunk of cheese. If you talk to like a caveman and you're like, hey, you want a grilled cheese? You just expect...
Talk to a caveman about his grill and putting American cheese on it. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that what you think, or do you think there's a sandwich higher up? Because I mean, like a meatball sandwich is really good.
That's really good. Those. I don't know. See, because there's some classics like a ham and cheese sandwich. I'm not big on ham and cheese sandwiches these days. I don't not like them. I just will take like something. I like a lot of stuff in a sandwich.
I do too. I like it when it's thick and there's just stuff all over it.
Just all kind of stuff.
Like I like to add lettuce. Not that I don't like lettuce, but
is it just like to take up space?
Yes, just to make
so
it
your
like
bites are more.
A thicker, more enjoyable sandwich. But I add like sauces. I add sauce.
Yep.
I try to do a lot of meat. I always do one slice of cheese. I feel like 2 slices is too much. So it's like...
I see what you're saying, but you're wrong.
I do like bottom... Unless it's like grilled cheese, then you do multiple. But
what if you have different kinds of cheese?
No, I think it's still too much cheese.
Bro.
It's like a bottom layer of meat, cheese in the middle, meat on top, and then whatever else
What are you on about?
Dude, you have the cheese in the middle. That's just the
Dude,
glue that
you gotta
holds
do
it together.
cheese, slice of meat. Cheese, slice of meat. Cheese, slice of meat.
That is so much cheese.
Bread. Cheese, slice of meat. Cheese.
It just becomes a nice glob of cheese.
Slice of meat.
Slice of meat.
Cheese.
Cheese.
You got to put the cheese on top, though.
No, I like it in the middle.
Is this a hot sandwich or a cold one?
Either or.
No.
No matter what.
Hot sandwich, cheese on top. It melts down, holds everything in.
No. Cheese on bottom.
Cheese, slice of meat. Cheese, slice of meat.
Cheese.
Slice of meat.
See, if we have a burger, I'd slice that in half and put the cheese in the middle and do that. It never, ever comes like that, ever, but...
Like, the long way?
Yeah, like...
Like you'd cut the patty into a top and bottom?
Yes.
And put...
If I could.
Yeah.
Most cheeseburgers is always on top, and I live with it, I guess.
You need a thick enough patty.
Yeah.
Well, that's why you put cheese, slice of meat, cheese, and then the bun.
And then I kill
Double
you.
cheeseburger. Do you know the difference between a double cheeseburger and a McDouble?
Is there a difference?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess a McDouble must be...
Cheese, slice
of
of meat.
meat. Is that what it is?
No. A McDouble is meat, cheese, meat.
Meat, cheese, meat. So it's cheese in the middle.
Yeah.
As opposed to...
A double cheeseburger from top to bottom is cheese, meat, cheese, meat.
So cheese on the bottom.
Nope.
From top to bottom, cheese, meat, cheese, meat. Okay.
It's an extra slice of cheese.
That's the difference?
Yeah, it's a double cheeseburger.
Ah.
Whereas a McDouble, you're just getting 2 patties.
With cheese in the middle. See, that's what I like, McDouble.
That's what I get. Because it's like an extra 40 cents.
Yeah. Who needs the extra cheese when you got 2 slices of meat?
Yeah. I mean, okay, maybe I'm supporting your theory. No, because this is a financial decision.
Yeah. And it's just
I'd
cheaper to have one
prefer
piece of cheese.
a double cheeseburger.
No way.
Because more cheese.
You don't need it.
Cheese, slice of meat. Cheese, slice of meat.
How much cheese do you put on a grilled cheese?
2 slices.
That's what I do.
3 gets a little crazy.
A little
It's
crazy.
a little out of control.
Like, I like Colby Jack. I could do a lot of Colby Jack.
And it depends on the slices. Like if you're going deli, if you're doing craft singles, you got to go 2. But you got to make sure you cover all the bread. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You feel me, bro?
No, I get you.
And if it's a multi-cheese grilled cheese sandwich, I'll put maybe 3. I could go 3 cheeses.
That is a lot of cheese.
Yeah, but it's just...
It's good on a grilled cheese. It's nice to have the glob.
yeah, because you got to get the gooey goos. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I get
And you
it.
pull it apart and it's like, cheese.
Slice of meat. Cheese. Slice of meat.
No meat, bruh.
No meat.
Although I do like a grilled ham and cheese. That's good.
I'm not a big fan of ham.
Bro, I just like hot sandwiches.
Yeah.
kid.
Oh, yeah. Sandwiches should always be hot.
You feel me?
I feel
You
you.
feel me? You're clammy.
I always am. They call me Tim the Clam.
I think that's all the sandwich news.
I know.
It's not news.
Oh, it's news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we? There's another thing. Should we talk about the other thing?
That's fine with
There's
me.
one more thing. All right, real quick. What time? Oh my God, we're going long. All right, one more category.
Long. Our last episode was what, 2 hours? No, an hour 54.
Yeah, you're right. It's not that long. I have this thing in my brain about it should be an hour.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What's your thing? Because I had the thing.
All right, comics. Are we in comics?
Yes, comics.
Comics. What do we call this? Comics? Literature?
I think we called it literature, but it just ended up being comics.
Reading stuff?
I might actually start reading a book soon.
Wow.
Ready Player One.
Will this be your first one?
No, it'll be my second. I also read To Kill a Mockingbird.
Dude.
That's a good book.
Yeah, 10 years ago is when you read it. I mean, sorry, that was a poorly timed comment.
Why would I read that book when I was 11?
I don't know.
That's not the kind of book.
Because you wanted to be a history teacher?
That's true. I did read some history books, but...
Not that... I don't know what we're talking about here. So, the comic news.
Yes.
Why don't you deliver it?
Me? Oh. I delivered a baby.
I was thinking
Fables
pizza.
is coming back.
No, it's not.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, it kind of is.
It's a sequel series, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah.
What did I have right? It's called Everafter. That's what it was. And what's specifically cool about it is he has the writing team, Bill Willingham.
Mm-hmm.
He has the writing team from Wolf Among Us,
Mm-hmm.
the Telltale game.
Mm-hmm.
So that's awesome.
That is super cool.
Mm-hmm.
Is Bill Willingham writing this?
He's part of it.
Okay.
I don't know. I think he's writing it because he's like the guy talking about it. You know, he's very excited about it.
Yeah.
So
That's what I was reading about it. It just said like Bill Willingham is teaming up with so on and so forth, et cetera, et cetera. So basically, it's a new ongoing. It's not like a mini. From what I understand, it's a new ongoing series. Everafter taking place in the Fables universe.
yes.
So that's awesome, but it's also just more stuff to keep up with, which is the nature of
Keep up.
our lives.
You were probably so happy to be finished with Fables.
I was. It's bittersweet when something like that wraps up, but it's not often. Like when I was reading The Walking Dead, like I really wanted it to be wrapped up because there were a couple moments in the life of that book where I was like, this would be a beautiful moment to end. And it's not like everything was like tied up in a perfect bow, but it was just like, this would be a good spot to wrap it up. And they still haven't, and I've fallen way behind. Part of it is my wallet. Like I just can't afford to keep up with everything that I want, and I'm a little behind on Turtles right now, which is killing me inside. But I can't not read Fables. It's my jam. So it is exciting though. I'm excited. I'm excited to get more. It would be silly to be upset about something awesome coming back. And Willingham's brilliant. Like,
yeah.
I maintain that Fables is one of the most creative and in-depth things I've ever read in my life. Like it's just so well thought out and massive. So it's exciting.
Yeah.
Are you going to read it?
How
much of Fables have you read?
I've read the first, it's been so long since I read them. You had, or I have the books, but you had some books too, right? The volumes,
I have all of them.
Yeah. So I think I had up to, I remember like the, Pinocchio, like the wooden saga.
The Wooden Soldiers?
Yes. I remember that. Was the farm after that?
Yeah.
They go to the farm and they see it's all like it's there, but it's been so long that I barely remember. But I've read not super far, but a good chunk.
It's so good, man.
It is.
Yeah,
good.
I have them all. I have issues 1 through 27, and then I bought all the trades even for the issues that I have, just to have the whole library. So I have all those, and you should read them, and it's so good.
You got to play The Wolf Among Us.
I do, yeah. So that'll probably be a game that I'll pick up real soon.
Because that was really good. It was just awesome. You know, the Fables universe just in a video game, and you play as Bigby, and it's awesome. So
yeah, and I'm curious too. There was a mini series out either during or after called The Wolf Among Us.
Oh, okay.
I want to say it was like 5 or 6 issues.
I wonder if that continues after the end, or
I don't know.
It's, just a companion series.
Because that was we met Chrissy Zulo at Comic-Con, and
But her art's awesome.
Yeah, she was the cover artist on The Wolf Among Us. So, and I hadn't realized that till we met her actually. So we got to get her on the podcast. You think she'd do the podcast?
I don't see why not.
I don't see why not either.
We have to figure out phone stuff. I mean, we have figured it out, but we need to figure it out.
Yeah, I mean we've done it. We did it. We did it with Edward.
Yeah.
High tech, bro.
What?
Hey,
Yes.
speaking of stuff we need to figure out, which kind of involves buying new equipment at some point, do you want to talk about what we just set up?
Our Patreon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just set up a Patreon page.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. That reminds me, we had to do a shout out because we have one person.
What? Yeah. See, we're new at this.
Yeah.
So the Patreon page we set up, I feel like my lip ring is coming apart. Fixed it. We set up our Patreon page. If you're unfamiliar with Patreon, which I was, it's pretty awesome. It's essentially crowdfunding, but on a regular basis, on a commitment.
Yeah, every month you say you pledge how much you want to give to us. And, we have it set up where, you pledge $1. You get rewards, basically, from us to give money.
Yeah.
And, it's helpful to us because then we can start doing, more videos a week or higher quality stuff, higher quality videos, get more mics so we can have more interviews and such.
Yeah, it has some of the goals listed on there. What do we list on there? I mean, there's just stuff we want to do. We want to do like comedy sketches, and we want to do. There's some new series that we want to do on YouTube that would be cool to do, but it's difficult time-wise and financially. So we figured we'd throw one of these pages up and see
why not?
if anyone's interested. If not, we're going to continue doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, check out the goals and the first shout out goes to
Brandon. I realized I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Oh
He's
my
my
gosh.
friend, too.
Dude, this is the
Shaft. Brandon Shaft. I got to ask him. I'm sorry, Brandon. I messed your life up. I'm pretty sure it's Shaft. Because I've always wanted to say it because it looks like Schofield because there's Prison Break and there's a guy named Schofield in it. So that's how it's spelt. It's like Sco like that. But it's Shaft. Brandon Shaft. Oh, my God. I'm going to call you right after this.
This is the best first shout out ever. No, it's awesome, though.
I don't know. What if we get harder names in the future?
Oh, that's hilarious.
Okay.
We just do our best.
Brandon, I'm sorry. No, you know what? I'm not going to tell him. He's going to have to watch.
Just going to let him watch or listen. Yeah.
He's going to have to find it out.
It's amazing.
Oh, crap. So if you donate some monies, we will horribly say your name.
I'm absolutely going to make Tim do all the shout outs, by the way.
I can't read. Like, my brain is just so weird. I can read, but I can't. I'm just a mess right now. Because I have that lefty brain. I'm a lefty, so my brain's lefty.
No, it's definitely messed up.
Oh. Thanks, Brett.
Silly lefties. We love you, lefties. Unless you all make that creepy slurping noise that Tim makes. Is that a lefty thing?
Yeah, that's just how we communicate. Attack my brothers.
Gross.
Yep.
So I guess that's it.
That's so sad
What?
that we have to go.
There will be more.
No, Brett.
Yeah, episode 28. Is that the next one?
What is special about 28?
I was 28 last year.
You're right. There we go.
There's something.
He's got the connection. Anyways,
You
folks,
got the right stuff.
You got
baby.
the right fluff.
Peanut butter and fluff? That's a good sandwich. How do you feel about sweet sandwiches?
No, thanks.
It's weird, right?
I don't like
is
jelly.
Is it a snack or is it lunch?
I mean, I like jelly. I just don't like jelly on my sandwiches.
Then what do you like jelly on?
Just like crackers or just spoonfuls of sugar.
No, you can do spoonfuls of jelly?
Yeah, it's a lot like Jell-O.
Oh, but it's way too... Well, that's weird. I guess it kind of is. But I couldn't do... No.
It's good.
I'm freaking out inside.
Nate makes... I think his mom makes really good jelly. It's good stuff.
And you can just eat it with a spoon?
Yeah, you just open it up. It's a nice little jar.
No way.
She makes good jelly.
I could do it with peanut butter, no problem. I could down like a jar of
Peanut butter's great.
But jelly... I could do spoonfuls of peanut butter and jelly. Do you prefer peanut butter and jelly on bread or on crackers?
I don't like mixing the two. I just like jelly by itself.
We're done here. I can't. You know what? Thank you guys for hanging out.
It's peanut butter jelly time. Peanut butter jelly time. I got too excited. I'm sorry. And Babel, Brett, I'm sorry that your family is alive. Wow, that is the worst thing I've ever said. No, I can't babble.
No, that's unbelievable.